Welcome back, everybody. My name is Tim. This is another Real Ideal Gear Review. And today we're looking at the middle to small size Casio watches. We're going to do the same thing we did with the larger watches that are in the back there. I'm not going to do anything with those tonight. But today we're going to look at these watches. What do I wear most frequently? Why do I wear them? And a little bit of just kind of the thought process behind them. So let's get into this. Let's get started with the small to mid-size Casio watches in this collection. So we're going to start off with one of my favorite watches that goes all the way back to when I was in junior high, and that's the databank calculator series watches. And there's a number of them, and I'll start off with this one. This is a classic, and this is actually a collector's model in the sense that this is a vintage model. I think it goes back to the... oh man, does it go back to the 90s, early 2000s? So it's about 20 years old. This is a databank. This is also a tough solar, and it's just a fantastic little watch. World time, you got your databank, alarm, you got your stopwatch timer, all that stuff on there. What's the DC here? Oh, is this multi-band 6? Oh, day count. Yeah, you can have a countdown timer. So it's day count. All right, so great features that are on here. Love the watch. I don't wear it because it's kind of a collector's watch. I'm trying to preserve that function. This is the only Casio that I've not worn. I wore it for the review, but that was it. And everything else has stayed the same. It's on its original, as far as I know. It's on its original display for a Casio watch. So there you go. Databank, I love it. What's the model number on this one? It is the DB-E30. The DB-E as in Edward 30. David Boy Edward 30. So yeah, it's a great little Casio watch. I like it. It's cool looking. Now it brings up another one here, which is I just picked this one up and I love it because this one goes along, you'll see kind of a theme here, along with the F201, right? Is that the F201? Yep, the F201. And this one is the W96. So you're going to see some similarities in kind of, it just has that 90s or early 2000s look to it, which I really like. And a little bit like a rounded square. You know, remember the Taurus, the Ford Taurus that was out there? And everybody kind of gave it the hard time because it was they called it the Ford Tortoise. But anyway, the design of just the rounded body shape, this reminds me of the late 90s, early 2000s with that style vehicle also. So, but the W96, fantastic little watch. It has a nice little feature on the strap here, which I'm struggling to get past, where you have a wedge here at the end that keeps the keeper from sliding off. So if you don't have the ratcheting system on here, which this does not, if you have the wedge on the end, this keeper is not going anywhere without a fight, okay, which is awesome. Okay, I love the strap. I love the look of it. I love the light. The light is actually really good. It's a green light, disperses really well. Individual review of this is coming up. This is a brand new watch, 50 meters of water resistance. So yeah, for me, I would wear this swimming. I have no problem wearing this swimming. Most people will even wear, let's see, the F91. Oh yeah, I'll take it swimming, snorkeling, whatever. Like, okay, it's just water resistant, all right? I don't mind taking a 50-meter water resistant watch out swimming. The numbers on there are a little bit thin, kind of not quite the high contrast. I'll show you another one here. This is another one of those rectangular shaped watches. This is the ABC. No, this is the T, what is this? The IRW 100. The IRW 100. Love this watch, but look at the difference in the, let's see here, we get this, there we go. Look at the difference in the boldness of the display. Much, much easier to read the IRW, okay, versus the W96. So we'll get to that in just a second. So I do like this. I think it's great. It's a watch that I was interested in doing a review on. I'm probably not going to hang on to this, so take a look at my webpage, realidealgear.com. You'll see this one pop up with a flashlight. I always put a Casio with a flashlight, sweeten the deal. But it has kind of that mini G-Shock strap look to it. I like the silver and the black. It just kind of breaks things up. It's not totally black. Gives it a little bit more of a casual look and less of a sporty, tough outdoor thing. This kind of refines it just a little bit more. And with that square or more rectangular shape, it does that as well. Love it. I think this is just a great looking watch. You have the alarm, stopwatch, dual time, and what else do you need? And the light, 12, 24 hours. You go back and forth, press this button, and you go back and forth between the 12-hour and the 24. I'm always going 24-hour. And they're like, well, Tim, you're not a cop anymore. Why would you do that? I got used to it. I like looking at it that way. It's just, I like it. All right. So there it is. W96. Highly, highly encourage you to get that. I like it for that. It's small too. Like on the wrist, this is a very easy watch to wear on the wrist. Okay. not a lot of stuff sticking up. Unlike the bigger watches, the bigs, you just have that problem. Now, this is the pulsometer, where it has the pulse check on here. So this is the JP100. And yes, it does work. Let's see here if I can get... Oh, I have to go a different way. Here we go. Hang on. I'm going to get back to the home screen. Pulse. And then you put your finger on here, but you don't press down too hard. And there it shows... Yeah, 122. 108. There we go. 108. That's more like it. I've been standing here, so yeah, it's going to be in the hundreds. All right. About 100, that's fine. I've been standing here for about an hour. So you get the pulsometer on here, and you can do all kinds of stuff. Now, the audible beep on here, there we go. The audible beep is not working on here. So I may go get another one of these and swap out, because this display and this case, you won't see one in this condition before, or in this condition. A lot of these are faded. The pulse lettering on here is faded out. I'll have some of the stuff faded out here on the side. The buttons are a little bit more scratched up and things like that. So the case on this one is outstanding condition. It's just the module that doesn't have the audio Roger beep on it. And maybe it's a contact in there. I could take the case back off and see if there's a contact that isn't touching, allowing the beep to work. But I love it. It has all the basic features. It has your alarm. This is the jog function, so you can do some really cool things with the jog function. You have the timer, stopwatch, and then you're back to the home screen. So I really like that watch a lot. This is one of my favorites. Now, people don't really like this one. I like this one better than the Casio. I think this one is more interesting to look at. This is the G-Shock. It's the GA2300, where the GAB, I've got to put away, the GAB 2100 looks a lot like this. It's kind of that Casio look to it. It has the octagonal bezel on it. I like the looks of this one. I think it's easy to read. It's just about as terribly legible as the Casio. The display on this one sucks as well. This is a negative display, which makes it even worse. But I didn't get it for the display. I got it because it looks cool. You can go through all the different functions. You have world time, stopwatch, timer, alarm, and you're back to time again. All right. You have the day of the week on the side. This indicator right here is your day of the week. All right. So it's Friday. And it's the 29th of November. So great little watch. I love it. And I love the articulation of the strap. Okay. Just very easy to wear. It lays flat on the countertop like this. And, of course, the alarm, if you want to use it for an alarm clock, kind of a dressier looking watch. A little bit sporty kind of looking. But I love that watch. Now, these two guys, F91, garbage. Okay. The 217. Now, this is where it's at. Like, if you're going to get an F91, consider the W217. It's W, right? Yeah, W217H. So consider the W217H as an alternative to the F91. I would never go with the F91 as far as a typical wristwatch, partly because it's too small for me. When I put it on my wrist, I look like Andre the Giant. You know, it's like way too small. Like, how much of the strap is still on the side or top portion of my wrist? It just looks way too small on my wrist. So, but as a lot of people have said, you know, they use it as a portable alarm clock when they're traveling, or a second alarm clock when they're traveling. So yeah, that's great. Legendary status. Otherwise, I think it's garbage. The W217 is way better, way more legible. You can read the display on here far easier. Basically the same functions. Okay, it's the same thing, but just in a bigger size. Now, we've already talked about this. The IRW 100, was that it? Yeah, the IRW 100. Wave Scepter. Okay, this is a Wave Scepter, tough solar, cool looking watch. 3 alarms. Let's go through the modes. There's the world time. Snooze. So I got 3 alarms with, I think, one of them being a snooze. You got the timer function. Stopwatch. I mean, it's the coolest looking watch. Now, I don't think this is the original strap, but I love the look of this strap with this watch. It adds a little bit of sportiness and toughness to a watch that has a lot of polish on it. And I used Polywatch on here to get some of the scratches off of the crystal. And I think that was really helpful. It did a good job. But it's used. It's vintage. And I think this is late 90s. I'm not sure you can get this one. Maybe I messed this up with, where was the other one that I thought was, Oh, it might have been this one. I'm not sure of which one is the 90s and which one's early 2000s. I may have messed these two up as far as like the dates go, but it's not too far apart. I love this watch. I wear this watch a lot. Of all these watches, I gravitate towards this one because it's classy looking, it's easy to read. The light switch is right here. And it has a nice blue light, and it's hard to see under these conditions because I have a light on the camera. But great Casio. I love it. The Gray Man. You know, this guy has been pushed to the back because I've got so many other interesting watches, but if you're looking for a tough, cheap watch around $30, you can't beat this. Now, you have to do a modification on this, remove some solder, and you end up getting a timer function. Now, if you don't do that, you don't get the timer function. So when you see this, I've done that on this watch. That's why the timer function is active. I removed some solder. All kinds of YouTube videos that show you how to do it. It's super, super easy. There's the timer function. You know, reset. There we go. Stopwatch, dual time, or world time. Now, some people say, well, that's not world time. Who cares? Like, you just go in and type it in. What's the deal? Like, world time, dual time, what's the difference? Other than you have to do a little bit more work with dual time. I love this. 100 meters of water resistance, 10-year battery, great light, very compact. It's kind of a chunky watch, though. Of all the watches that are here, this is probably, the chunky factor is pretty high. Yeah, this one's probably one of the highest ones of all the watches on the table of this medium to small range, okay? But I like it, easy to read, tough as nails. Now, databanks. And I started talking about databanks and I went away from them. Yes, the calculator databanks. Here's the classic CA53. This is the Back to the Future watch. I don't wear it too much. I wear it when I think I have some older folks in the audience and they'll recognize it. Like, oh, that's a Casio calculator watch. Let me see it. So I'll wear it for that reason alone. I don't wear it much beyond that because it's a little bit funky to work with. Yeah, it just is not the easiest because it doesn't have a lot of buttons. You have the set button on here. Here's your adjust button, and then here's your mode button. And let me go back here. Let's do the stopwatch, and I'll show you how that works. I think, if I remember right, yeah, start, stop, reset. Okay, so you got the start, stop, reset down here on the keyboard or on the calculator portion on here. Yeah, so it's a good watch. It's nostalgic. This is kind of like the F91 in a way, but I think it's better because it just has more functions to it. It doesn't have a light. Okay, that's one of the reasons I don't wear it at night. One of my favorite calculator data bank watches is the ABC30. Dual time. This analog clock up here is set only by this crown. It runs completely independent from the digital clock. So when I went out to Minnesota recently and I posted some videos or posted some pictures on Watch Crunch, I was wearing this watch and I had the Montana time here and I had Minnesota time down here because we're two different time zones. Easy peasy. I went to here and adjusted the time. Actually, you don't go there. You go up here and you use the adjust button and you can adjust the digital right here. Data bank function, you can enter phone numbers in. You got the calculator function. I'm not going to get into that, but just a great looking watch. Now, this is not the original strap or bracelet, but I do like the look of this bracelet with this watch. It really goes well together. I really, really like it. And as a matter of fact, I bought another bracelet thinking that maybe I could make it a little bit tougher. And here's another one. It has kind of that, I don't know, beads of rice almost look to it, or very small links on here. Let's pull this out. I don't know. I'm not going to pull it out. I don't have time for that. But I just like the black and silver look to it. It just kind of accentuates the silver outlining around the analog, and you've got the black on the side. It just kind of complements the entire thing. All right. And it fits all right. I've got it sized up for me. It fits good. I like it. Also, the light on this is awesome. Here's the light feature on here. And it lights up really, really well. Let's see if we can get it to... It lights up the dial. It's iridescent. So the dial on the analog watch portion lights up as well as the digital display. So both of these light up. Incredible. And I love wearing this watch at night. It's super lightweight. All right, CMD40. You want to mess around with somebody? Get the CMD40. Turn the power off on the TV while they're watching TV, because that's what this does. These are your controls. This is also from the 90s. Early 90s, I believe, and you can control VCRs with this, TV volume. You could do, I think, start and stop functions. You could create different functions on here. So here's your VCR buttons on here. You have rewind, stop, play, fast forward. Yeah, for VCRs, for those of you that know that, your channel changer is down here. So your channel down and up. Okay, you can do that as well. You can type in the channels. Really cool here is your infrared sensor, or sending it out. It also is a learning sensor. So you can take a current remote control and it will learn the infrared signal so that this watch can speak to the current TV that you have. Yeah. So cool watch. It looks cool. I love the look of this watch. You know, it has the calculator function. All right, there's your alarm stopwatch. and then your date and day date. All right. So really straightforward as far as that goes, but it just is such a cool looking watch. Now the watch that I had when I was in junior high was this one. This is the DBC 60. What is this one? The 611. The DBC 611. This is one that, yeah, it's cool because there's no raised buttons on the keypad here. This is completely smooth. So when you do this, you do have to put your fingernail into it. The display, not quite as good as I'd like, but this is a nostalgic piece for me. I got this because this is the exact model that I had when I was in junior high in the mid-'80s. And it's awesome. You know, you have the databank feature, 25 entries, the calculator feature. You can also use the conversion. There's a conversion thing in here. All you do is type in the number and hit enter, and it converts it into the current currency. Alarm, stopwatch, and dual time. There's no timer on this. It does have a light. It's not a very good light. Okay. And the bracelet on here is fully adjustable, and it looks cool. It has that kind of 1980s look to it, if you ask me. I like it a lot. All right, last but not least, my favorite data bank of all is the DBC32. This one I have information typed into it. This is the one that I wear when I'm traveling all the time. I'm almost always double watching, Schwarzkopfing when I'm traveling. Now I took the strap off of here. This is what the strap looks like that it comes with. And I figured I'd try this to see what it looks like. Put in the comments down below if you like the looks of this. I'm kind of testing it out to see if I can go metal on this one. I haven't adjusted it for size yet. I just got the strap a couple of days ago, and I put it on, and I kind of like it. I think it'll be okay. Let's see if I can get this thing to close. There we go. So it has the safety clasp over the top. All right. I like it. I don't know. I think it looks all right. Looking for your feedback on this one. But I do like the looks of this. And, of course, data bank feature. So I've got a bunch of stuff in there. I'm not going to go through there because I've got phone numbers on there I don't want to share. Calculator, you've got also the calculator, you've got the conversion thing that goes along with it. You have alarms, multiple alarms, and you type everything in. You type in the time, you type in the date, and then you hit enter, and it's in. So it's super easy to set. Stopwatch and dual time. Okay, so there you go. Those are my mediums and smalls. And I've got two more up here. Never mind. 2 G-Shocks. Square. You can't beat the Square. 5610U. This is the GWM. Yeah, the GWM 5610U. This is the updated module. This also has the automatic light, multiband 6, tough solar. This is the do-it-all, set it once and forget it watch. I love it. I wear this working all the time. When I first got it, I was like, I probably should get this watch because this is a classic. You know, I never really liked the Square. I thought it was too small. I didn't think it was very legible. But it's okay. I can read this without my glasses. Okay. I'm not reading the day and the date real easily, but the time, totally readable. I love the compactness of this watch and the lower profile on the wrist. All right. Now, just came in is this new G-Shock right here. And I forget the number on this one. GWM 500. Now, there's one thing on here I absolutely despise, and it's all these little dials, okay? But I'm going to live with it for now because I do like the look, the compactness of this G-Shock. It's small. So I'm willing to deal with the dial, and the numbers are still big. Those are big numbers. Let me pull up the Square. All right? And I think, yeah, these are bigger than the Square. Let's get that up there. I get this reflection because I have the light on the camera. But you can see the size of the numbers on the 500 is bigger than the 5610U, the Square. So I'm willing to go with that. I can handle that. It's also very comfortable. I love the fact that the buttons are much easier to press than the Square. This one might replace the Square. Tough Solar, right? Is this Tough Solar? Yeah, Tough Solar Multiband 6. So Tough Solar Multiband 6. It has all the features I'm looking for. There's world time, alarm, stopwatch, time. Yeah, it has all the stuff I'm looking for. It's comfortable. I don't know. This might replace the Square if you ask me. All right. The what was it called again? The GWM 500. This is the GWM 5610U. All right. So these are apparently in the same family of watches. But you can see, as far as buttons go, I much prefer the 500 over the 5610U. Okay. So just a great overall setup. And yeah, I don't know. This may do it. I may dethrone the Square. So there you go. Put your comments down below. Let me know what you think. And check out the webpage, realidealgear.com. And check out the watches and flashlights for sale. We'll catch you guys next time.